Hi, we are Verónica Faustina Martínez Martínez, Jessica Isabel Ortiz Martínez, and Sonia Vences-Rios, and we are going to discuss what is mediation and the implications of this concept in our language teaching classroom. Vero, what mediation is and the reasons for incorporating it in the English language classroom.
Well, hi everyone. I believe that mediation helps people understand each other when we speak different languages, like in our case, or when it's hard to understand something. Uh, I think we include English classes, we include it in the English classes because it makes communication easier, helping us to understand, for example, the culture better. And it also helps us to improve our English skills, preparing us for the real world.
Okay, Jessie, what do you think?
I completely agree with you, Veronica. As far as I know, mediation is a process where someone facilitates the communication, the understanding, or the learning process to someone else. In an English class, it's important because most of the time the students struggle with the target language. But yes, that's my thoughts. And what about you, Sonia?
Well, I think that mediation helps us to close the gaps between our students and help us to communicate going beyond the linguistic features. And we can focus more on the cultural aspects rather than being extremely focused on grammar or on vocabulary per se. It helps us to develop other skills as critical thinking. But, well, Vero, can you give us your opinion about mediation in language teaching?
Of course, Sonia. Thank you. Yeah, mediation is super important in language teaching because it helps us to become better at communicating in different languages and cultures. It's like a pathway, or you might say like a bridge that connects people who speaks different languages and making the learning more practical and meaningful.
Yes, what about you? Can you give us your opinion, please?
Yeah, of course. Mediation encourages students to become more confident and effective communication as they navigate in real life situations or scenarios and express themselves in diverse contexts. Mediation plays a crucial role in enhancing students' language learning experiences by promoting active language use, critical thinking, and intercultural competence. And you, Sonia, what do you think?
Well, we see eye to eye. I think I strongly believe that in a natural environment, mediation it's a natural process. But in our language classroom, it is not fully incorporated because we as teachers don't allow our students to interact naturally between them. So we need to become mediators and help them to break the gaps between them and to help them communicate in a natural way using mediation. Vero, to what extent mediation might influence students' language learning?
Okay, mediation has a big impact in language learning. By practicing mediation, we become better at English. You mentioned it by listening, the speaking, the reading, and the writing in real situations. It also helps us to improve our cognitive skills like problem solving. What about you, Jessie?
Yeah, I agree. Mediation can influence students' language learning by providing with the opportunities to actively engage with the language in authentic and meaningful ways, as you say. And what about you, Sonia?
Well, I think mediation would be extremely important when we use authentic materials, as our students may face certain challenges in vocabulary in a real context. On the other hand, we have a theory of Vygotsky that says that in a developmental zone, you only can help the one that is next to you. So between students can help each other and help them to go forward in the developmental zones using mediation. You know? Vero, do you think students might increase their proficiency level in English if mediation skills are incorporated more frequently in their English lessons?
Definitely. I think that if we do more tasks that involve mediation, like translating between the languages or trying to explain something that is not well understood, in different ways, or if we can just we can just practice, like stop, reflect, and continue, will improve our English skills more effectively.
Jesse, what about you?
Yes, integrating mediation skills into English lessons has the potential to positively impact the students' language proficiency levels due to they are exposed to real life context, which makes it more useful and meaningful, as we already mentioned.
Okay,
And what about you?
it's have been thought that you have to memorize vocabulary, no? But now I'm coming to terms, I'm facing the fact that you do not need to memorize every single term. You can use mediation skills to understand concepts and meanings and context, and it would help you to get a higher level in your language. Uh, Barrett, the last question. Based on the Mexican educational context, which mediation skill would be promoted in the language classroom and why?
Well, first of all, I agree with you totally, like what you just mentioned about like focusing on the context, for example. Yeah, just going back to the question again. Yeah, I think in Mexico we should focus a little more when we are translating between English and Spanish, for example, using like more visual support. So we understand this information through, through our visual skill, and just as much as we can get by reading, and we can learn about by the pictures, like phrasing, the context, and yeah, we learn more effectively and faster, for example, like the different cultures. I think these skills will help us to communicate better in different contexts. What about you, Jessie?
Well, I consider that communication, creative thinking, and empathy, those are the ones that I consider that could be that could promote it in a language classroom in order to create a better environment and be able to have an improvement in our target language. And you, Sunny?
Well, as we have read in the text, I think mediating communication is of paramount importance as Mexico is a pluricultural country. In our context, we are going to have students from different cultures or different social levels or even with disabilities, and we can use this process of mediating between them and using the language to form a group and to help each other. And also I think empathy would be extremely important for our students and for us as teachers. Well, I have to thank you being here in this discussion group. I hope you have a nice evening. See you later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
Thank you so much for having
Bye.
us.